Hey, welcome back. My name is Rassam Bahati and welcome to Garage Recaps. So stage two kind of rolled out as everyone predicted. You had the usual suspects like Alaphilippe, Valverde. I even thought someone like Michael Matthews would kind of be in the mix with such a punchy stage that ends on a climb that he's actually really good at. You saw Valverde win, these one-day races that are very similar to what stage two was. But you look at Sunweb, Deceuninck, they were all kind of lining it up for their favorite to go on the attack and win stage two. Deceuninck did a great job setting up Alaphilippe. They really put all their eggs into one basket. And with 13K to go, he attacked. Boom. I was very impressed by the young rider from Sunweb, Marc Hirschi, who followed right away, didn't really get on the wheel quickly, but definitely kept Alaphilippe in arm's length. Once he attached on, I think it was on and cracking. I didn't believe that they would actually make it to the finish. And I think until Adam Yates from Mitchelton Scott went across to the move, I think that's when they really got the horsepower they needed to make it to the finish. Without Yates, I don't think those two survive. One, because Alaphilippe is not an idiot. He's not going to pull Hirschi all the way to the finish. And Hirschi is a proven rider in the under 23 ranks. He's a national champion. He definitely has the goods. He's got to start with one of the best teams in the world. So great rider, but young, maybe a little inexperienced. But I don't think he was hurting to the point where Alaphilippe could lose him. Because if it were me, I wouldn't do one single pull with Alaphilippe. I'm definitely going for a stage win because there's nowhere in the rule books that said I have to pull with you. You're a proven winner. You're much more talented than me, and I'm not going to do anything. So I would have just held on for dear life and try to beat him in the sprint. Once Adam Yates popped off and made it to the group, pretty much instantly, it was like abracadabra, right? He was there, and he really delivered the horsepower that they needed to make it to the finish. You saw Astana come to the front and kind of chase. You saw Ineos kind of chase. Jumbo Visma was like, nah, we're good. We have our GC guy. We're going to make up time in the big mountains. And so it came down. It kind of reminded me of Milan-San Remo when Alaphilippe won, or even like Kielkowski, the way he won out of a really small group. And I have to be honest with you, I was really rooting for the young kid, Hirschi, to take the upset. And I think that really would have put him over the top, you know what I mean? Probably became more of a household name, but I think his time is coming. He had a great sprint. One of the things that he really made a mistake on was actually giving Alaphilippe too much of a gap. I think in a small group like that, you want to have, I don't know, a bike length. He was in an optimal spot. You know that Yates is not going to outsprint any one of them. But as the group started to really bear down on their necks, you can see Alaphilippe is in the gear he's going to sprint in. I sprint the same exact way. If I was in that position, I'm going 53.11. I'm not touching the gears because too many bad things can happen. I feel like Hirschi was in maybe his 53.12, perhaps even 13, just looking at his cadence of his sprint. You could see that Alaphilippe just kind of grinded, got on top of the gear. And once he was on top of the gear, it was a wrap. Right towards the end, that last 50 meters, you could see Hirschi really starting to get on top of it, but it was a little bit too late. And what a finish by Alaphilippe. You can't be mad at a guy like that for going out on the attack. From 13K to go, riding with one person he was probably unsure of, which was Marc Hirschi of Sunweb, and then knowing that Adam Yates was probably just happy to get a few seconds on the field and some bonuses. So stage two was very exciting, and looking forward to talking about stage three. See you soon. How did I do that? Just went to a music video.
I think we do that again, and with your experience, maybe talk a little bit more about the. So you said it was you versus their entire team. Maybe relate to like how Alaphilippe will feel now that, because his team is really focused on stage wins.
Yeah.
And they're not focused on keeping the jersey.
Okay.
Maybe seeing how, like, relating you and him, and I think that story there can be pretty powerful.
Okay. So when you're in a stage race and you get an opportunity to wear the leader's jersey, and in this situation of the tourist, the Maillot Jaune, which everyone knows is the most decorated jersey in the world for cycling, probably outside of the World Championship jersey, and getting those stripes. I remember back racing a good friend of mine, Jonathan Cantwell, may he rest in peace, when he was on Flyvie Australia, and we were doing this race called Super Week, and it coincided with the Tour de France. It was actually 21 days of racing throughout the Midwest, specifically in the Wisconsin area, and I was there alone, and I got the jersey early, just like Alaphilippe did, and it gives you this sense of pride. It also gives you this sense of like this Superman feeling. And just like Alaphilippe, he's got a team there, yet his team is focused on like stage wins. They have a lot of fast guys. They have a lot of riders that can win some of these punchy stages, and they're not really there for the mountainous stages and to win the overall. However, as we saw last year, once you get that jersey, it just gives you a superpower. You're Batman, Superman, She-Woman, Wonder Woman. You're everything all embodied in one. And it's something about being in that position. So I kind of feel like what I went through back in the day, having the jersey at Super Week, where I didn't have a team and I was fighting tooth and nail to keep the jersey, and did at some points. If you go and Google Waukesha Rassam Bahati, you will see that I come across the line and I'm just like showing all my muscles because I out-sprinted a full team to take the yellow jersey back. And I kind of feel like that's exactly what Alaphilippe will be doing. He will have a team to take care of him through the flats, but once that road tilts up, they're going to lose a majority of their team just because they're not stacked with climbers. He'll have a couple people towards the end, but when it really counts, he's not going to have anyone. He's going to have to rely on other teams and kind of float in the peloton, almost exactly what I did to hold a jersey at Super Week. So it's kind of cool to watch because I've been through it at one level, and watching him do it at this level, just kind of, coincidences, as I call it.